testing its capabilities as a potential weapon, refining it evidently. Now it seemed their gloves had come off. Darion removed his blade from the dying male and stepped away. No reason to linger. Titanium meant a swift, certain end for a rogue. Even one nick of a titanium blade spelled almost instant death. Darion considered it a mercy to end the male, far better than to be made to suffer the unquenchable, incurable thirst and insanity of bloodlust. As he strode back up the narrow alleyway, a deep, cool voice sounded in the earpiece of his comm unit. "Got a situation over on M Street. Anyone close?" Darion's team captain, Nathan, spoke over the wail of sirens in the background of wherever he was fighting in the city. 5 human civilians are trapped inside a jewelry store. They've got rogues swarming. Apparently one of them is bleeding from a window he smashed. A low scoff answered from another teammate. Darion knew the wry sound. It belonged to Rafe, his lifelong friend and comrade on patrol across town. "So much for the mandate that everyone stay off the street for the night." "Fucking looters," snarled Jax, the 4th member of the unit. "Let the rogues have them." "They're kids," Nathan grimly pointed out. "Teens and younger, according to the hysterical girl who called in a minute ago. Not that it should matter." Jax only grunted in answer. With his cold stealth and penchant for throwing stars, he had never been the warmest male. But since his best friend and fellow warrior Elijah had been killed on duty by an Opus-instigated ambush several nights ago, Jax seemed almost glacial. It was Eli's death that had left a vacancy on Nathan's team. Darion eagerly stepped in to fill it, despite hating the reason he was given the opportunity. He was determined not to let down his teammates or his father, the Order's founder and leader, Darion Thorne. Darion had waited for a chance to serve as a warrior from the time he was a boy. He'd trained and prepared for it, even when it seemed he'd never be given the chance. "I'm close to the area," he said, his long blade in hand and his feet already moving swiftly in the direction of the trouble. "I'm on my way now." He didn't wait for confirmation. Summoning the full velocity of his breed genetics, he flashed across the distance in a matter of seconds. Just as Nathan described, the scene outside the jewelry store was going from bad to worse. The big window in front was smashed, jagged glass framing an opening that looked barely large enough to fit any of the 5 kids cowered and screaming inside. Never mind the trio of hulking rogues looking for a way to get in. To the human youth's credit, they'd been quick-thinking enough to create a barricade between themselves and the broken window. The toppled jewelry display case they had lit on fire near the open glass was keeping a pack of 3 rogues outside the shop. It was a small deterrent, though, one that wouldn't hold the rogues back for long. Not even another second, in fact. One of the big males lowered his shoulder and slammed into the makeshift barricade. The display case exploded inward from the impact, splintered wood and twisted metal flying in all directions inside the small store. The rogue pushed forward, his 2 companions crowding behind him. "Fuck!" Darion rushed across the darkened street, his long blade gripped in one hand and ready for combat, his other hand moving for the pistol holstered on his weapons belt. He wasted no time. With the humans shrieking and stumbling over one another in their haste to get out of the first rogue's swinging reach, Darion rammed his blade between the shoulders of another one currently blocking a clear path inside. The male dropped to his knees on a howl. Darion stopped the third with a titanium hollow point up close and personal to the side of the rogue's skull. Both large males went down, convulsing on the pavement as the titanium began its work. Darion shoved inside the opening in the smashed window. The 5 humans were hysterical, scrambling in all directions. The rogue grabbed for one of them, latching onto the loose jacket of a lanky preteen whose torn sleeve was sticky and dark with blood. The kid who'd injured himself breaking into the store. The coppery tang of fresh human red cells made Darion's